Here we go. All right. Good morning, everyone. It's Jim Adkins here with Jim Adkins Self Systems, and more on topic today. Jim Adkins, 26 Days of You. Now, yesterday we started a new 26 days, and I gave you guys some of the outline of what my book was going to be about. And what I learned, I keep learning through this process, is that I can't script what it is I'm going to do. With the law of attraction in place and the congruency factor in my life, I've realized that if what I'm doing, and this is just me, if what I'm doing is not in line with the energy of what I think needs to get done, it comes across, well, one, less organized than I normally am, and mentally, and two, it just doesn't feel right to me. And I've got 80 videos. I can attest this. My martial arts world, I've made over 80 videos that you will never see. And the reason, well, you might later when I'm done or dead or something, but I'm a perfectionist. And if I push forward for the wrong reasons, I know it and I feel it. And that's what happened yesterday. We'll backtrack a little bit and I'll share with you what yesterday was. And then we'll kind of go forward with some things that are on my mind this morning. First of all, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you had a great weekend. Today is day 2 for my week, Monday. We started our fitness challenge. I hope that you're up for that because today you're going to hit the ground running and go with it. Yesterday for me, day 1, I had big plans just like I always do, and kind of got derailed a little bit, and I didn't get to work out, and that happens. But what I did do is clean. I remember back in the challenge, I asked you guys to declutter and clean. Mike, Mr. Huntley, how's your room going? I know he mentioned to me that he started cleaning and he realized, holy crap, he doesn't have room for everything. He's got so much stuff that he just didn't have room for it. And I bet we're all in that same boat. I know I am. So that was yesterday. And it was a beautiful day. So my wife and I spent some time outside together and it turned out really good. On the podcast here, what I discussed yesterday was part of my book, and I can't give away all of it yet. I'm just gonna let you guys read the book, but I will tell you this: this book, and I've got 4 now. I've got one published, 26 moves. I've got the second one, the second volume of 26 moves, 12 of 26, and then I've got a children's book I'm writing that should be coming out pretty quick. And then we've got this one. And this one came out because of you guys. Or it's coming out, because of you guys. And the title is still a work in progress. But when it gets closer to being released, I'll share more with you. The peak that you got yesterday was about the cowboy in us all. And I related some of my personality traits, my personality traits to some of the cowboys that are in my life that I grew up with, right? And I picked on John Wayne because John Wayne's been there a lot. And, what better person to be in your life than somebody you can click on and click off on TV or on the movies because they're always there for you when you need them. You can always go back and revisit the lessons learned, right? My question to you back yesterday was, can you pull any of your personality traits from a cowboy? Now, if cowboys weren't a part of your life, or we grew up with westerns on TV and things too, but and that can be a part of your life. But if they really weren't, if you didn't grow up in that kind of paradigm there, we will touch on other ways that you've got your traits. Matter of fact, we can do that right now. I attributed my morals and my ethics to my cowboy upbringing, or my redneck upbringing, or my country boy upbringing. There's a better one, country boy upbringing. Now, my life looking back was pretty cool in the fact that my diverse background in like my grandparents on both sides, my mom and dad, and then my aunts and uncles and and the associations that they made, businessmen, war heroes, royalty, country folk, musicians, intellectual geniuses. And I paid attention to all of them. And then regular folks. And when I say regular folks that were just happy to enjoy life. And I look at every one of those, and they're all a piece of me. And I think that's true with everybody, right? So in the book, we talk about that. You and our association on here are becoming a piece of me. This new podcast for me is something that when we did the 30 days of positivity challenge, rang a bell. And I got excited about it. And I started reaching for more and wanting more and grabbing it more because of you. Excuse me. And I thank you for that. But at the same time, I immediately lost reason why I was doing it. He's always been more of a Clint Eastwood guy himself. Let's come back and talk about that. Mr. Motley posted, said he's always been more of a Clint Eastwood guy. So I in this podcast, I started reaching for things that weren't there. I started forcing the information and forcing the ideas to come. I've got listen, if you guys know me, and most of you do, my mind's going 100 miles an hour all the time. I've got piles of paper with information and activities and ideas and books and martial arts analyzation and all kinds of stuff. And I like that. I love it a lot. But when you're like that, it's sometimes hard to choose what exactly it is you want to share, like this for me. And when I start talking like this morning, my head's already been on this subject for a week or two. So sometimes I start speaking and I'm a week or two ahead of you in the conversation. How about an amen if you feel that way? What the hell are you talking about, Jim? Slow down a little bit. And then by the end of it, you catch up and go, okay, I see where he was going with that. I understand now. That's me. And that's just how it is. Today, what I would love to touch on, if I can get around to it, is how life is too short. And that statement in itself, is a term that I would really not prefer to use, but that's what I want to touch on. So let's round this up and head forward to that. So as yesterday approached, it's a great idea. I want to continue this. Please share with me any personality traits that you received or you got from like the cowboy moniker or the cowboy paradigm. And I use that a lot because we all have an idea of what a cowboy is. As a matter of fact, that'd be a good way to start. Tell me your impression of a cowboy. Don't do an impression. Don't do an impression of a cowboy. Tell me your impression of a cowboy. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. If you need to pick Clint Eastwood or something, you can. But no, the word cowboy, the name cowboy, the noun itself, or the adverb, adjective itself, whatever. How would you use that? Anyway, tell me what you think of a cowboy, and then did you get any traits from a cowboy? I'm good with, I know some rednecks in my past that were farmers, ranchers, and welders and miners. That they did a lot of things, and they drank beer and raised hell. That's what they did, and they still made it to work in the morning, and they still took care of their family. But that's what they wanted to do, and it was Coors. No endorsement or don't go drink Coors, and I'm not blaming Coors for their actions. Okay, boy, see how my head works. But anyway, they would go drink their Coors. It's gross, man. I tried that, but sorry. They drank, no endorsement now for sure, right? And then they would go and they would get in fights, and that was their attitude. So if that's something you picked up from your cowboyness or you're growing up with a paradigm, let me know. Me, it was morals, ethics, and how to set a hard line and draw something that you stand for. And you see that in all of my favorite cowboys. Now, Clint Eastwood, on the other hand, and I can't say this about Clint as a person because I don't know him, but the roles that he plays, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, are generally, God, how would you describe that? I have a student who loves Clint Eastwood movies because his character is in a Western isn't really a good guy, but is better than the other bad guys. he generally takes care of the other bad, or puts the other bad guys in their place, or gives them what they deserve, but he's still kind of a bad guy too. Am I correct about that? And Mr. Motley, what trait would you say you pulled from Clint Eastwood? There's my question to you, Motley. Put it on here so we can see. I think that's how you would describe Clint Eastwood. I'm thinking of a couple of movies I like. Pretty cool. Books, if you've read Crossfire Trail, or if you've watched the movie, or if you've read Louis L'Amour's, what's the Lonesome Dove, or watched that series, there's some traits in there that you pull from Captain Woodruff and on those guys there. Mr. Motley says that Clint Eastwood is something. The fact that he is imperfect but focused. Now, see, focused. I love that, and the way my mind works. And I told you this. And we'll talk about being a Renaissance man and touching on a bunch of stuff that happens. When my mind gets moving like that, I wish for simpler times. Not that I don't appreciate, because I'm very grateful for the amount of information that I have, and I'm grateful for my intuition, and I'm grateful for the intellect that I've gathered over the years. But there are days or times when I wish for that simpler way, when I wish for the ability to just sit and stay focused on just one simple thing. Life doesn't do that for me. I focus on a lot of things. Mr. Huntley said the term "the Cowboy Way." Only a true cowboy knows what that means. The Cowboy Way. Yep, you can either cry, go sit in the truck and cry, or you can pick up your boots and get with it. Right, get back in the saddle. The Cowboy Way. Only a true cowboy knows what that means. So we won't tell anybody. We'll leave it. We'll leave it like it is. Good. So I hope that let's go through the alphabet real quick, and I'll let you guys pick it out. A. Do you think a cowboy is more analytical, affectionate, artistic, or can you come up with an A word? Be careful. Let's not go through the alphabet. Let's get back on track. All right. So the Cowboy in Us All. Part of my book. It's actually chapter 1, The Cowboy in Us All. Life is too short, guys. I was having a conversation with my favorite person the other day, and we were discussing where we were in our lives and where we are now. And we're just talking, we're working and doing busy stuff and talking. And I look over, and she's tearing up. And like, what's up, honey? And did you hurt yourself? You cutting onions? That's not what I said, but she mentioned to me that because we were discussing, our children and how they've grown up so fast, and us, we're together. And she said that she was crying, and I'll cry too in a minute, because that life it goes too fast. It's August already, and it's 2019 already. I think we've been together for a really long time now, and things just keep getting better for us. And she recognized the fact that it's going too fast. It's too short. She wants it to be this way forever, for another 2 lifetimes. And Lori, come over to the other side here and look in Facebook or YouTube, excuse me. Anyway, my wife, she said she wants it to stay like this forever. She realizes that, eventually, everything changes. Nothing ever stays the same. You're either growing, or you're letting yourself die. Or ideas, you're either growing ideas, or you're letting them die, or either you're growing your love, or you're letting it die. These are choices. These are decisions that you make on a daily basis. Like I told you yesterday, I wake up every day and decide to be a great husband, decide to be a wonderful friend. I decide to be an inquisitive, loving teacher. I decide to learn something new. I'm grateful for these abilities. And as we do that, we may get caught up and forget that, it passes pretty quickly. It does. We're here 1 minute, we're gone the next, right? I can't, and this is my memory that I'm working on. I told you about, the stuff. I believe one of my fathers, I had 2, one stepdad, Rod, awesome man. and my original father, my my original father, Jim Adkins, the original. Um, he uh, he was either born in August. My sisters, if you guys jump on here, you'll remember, or ask mom. It was, I think Rod or Jim was either born in August or died in. I think Jim died in November. Rod died in March. So one of them or both of them have a birthday in August. And my first father, with the original, he looked like Elvis Presley. He had the grin, he had the hair, he was short, but he was Elvis. And Elvis died this month, August 17th, I think. I don't know. What I was getting at is, his life, his career spanned an eternity and then gone. And people still live and love his music and carry his name forward. So he's really not gone. And that was what I was trying to get to here when life is too short. The life that you make, the life that you live can continue if you do things that touch and grow others. And I forgot to unlock the door. I hope I don't have to get up and unlock it here in a minute. I don't think anybody's supposed to be. Yeah, someone's here. Hang on one second. I'll be right back. My fault. Sorry about that. I'm back. How about that? Stay tuned for more after this. That was kind of interesting, right? I'll see if I can cut that out. All right, let's go back to what we were talking about. Life is too short. My wife she was happy that where we were is where we are, and she wanted more of it. So I'm going to ask you how you feel about that. And I know the answer. I mean, is life too short? Do you wish you do? No, I can't do that. Just share with me. It was a moving moment. It was a very cool experience. And I agree with her. We start to covet the things we love best. Being in the moment helps us remember that this is awesome. And at the same time, it reminds us that, maybe or maybe not, we may or may not be here tomorrow. So as we look forward and make plans and set goals, don't forget that this moment exists. And this moment is wonderful and awesome. And today is going to be an incredible day. It's a decision, and the decision is yours. And the more you learn to make decisions, the quicker you make them, the quicker you find out if you were right or not, and the better at it you get. I'm going to repeat that. This is all under the guise that life is too short, and we want to remember that today is a day that we need to cherish and admire and love. As we go through today, our actions of today will dictate our tomorrows, right? Who we are today is a result of the decisions we made yesterday and how we lived yesterday and the thoughts that we thought yesterday. So let's repeat that and think about this for a minute. You are today the result of the actions and the decisions you made yesterday. Okay? Imagine who you'll be tomorrow. As you look forward to tomorrow, the decisions you make today will dictate who you feel and who you feel you are tomorrow. Today lies in the middle of both of those, and today is a gift. That's why we call it the present, right? It's a gift. Live it as if it was. Remember that life is short, but don't dwell on the idea that tomorrow might never come. If you look ahead to tomorrow worrying about the inevitable, you miss all the wonderful things today. Now, I'm not scolding her. I'm reminding myself, because I have a tendency to look 6-8 months into the future. As a business person, we do that. But in my business and my life, they start to tumble together. And remember, I told you I was trying to get everything that I manage under one umbrella so that I can give focus to everything. I don't know. My paradigm at the moment says that may not be possible. I'm wondering if I need to shift my paradigm. I don't know. It's a good question for me. I'll ponder this. But so let's recap, and then I'll let you go, and you can start your day. I will continue sharing pieces of my book with you. the one book, and I think it's called Pieces of Me. I think that's what we're going to call it. We've got the copyright for it, so Pieces of Me. And the cowboy in us all. We talked about, the cowboy way. That's a great statement to study. So Mr. Huntley put up, only cowboys know the true meaning of the cowboy way. You could say that about anything. Let's do it the martial arts way, and only martial arts will understand. Let's do it a musician's way, and only a musician will understand. Let's do it, the way a cook does it, and only a cook would understand. But the cowboy way is a term that I love. It's also a couple of good movies. But think about that, the cowboy way. And Mike, is that something you got from your cowboys in your past? Is that one of the cowboy way? I know what it means to me. Is that some of the ethical drive that you got from the people in your life that were cowboys? I'm just interested. So we talked about that and the cowboy and you. Share with me before the next video. Come on, reach out. And let me know what you think of a cowboy. How did you grow up seeing a cowboy? Because some people, it's a negative term. And if you look back at there's a real popular movie called Tombstone. If you guys like Tombstone, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names of the actors, but if you watch that movie Tombstone, a lot of the Kimple people love Doc Holliday's character in that. A lot of the people love Wyatt Earp's his moniker in that. Yes, it's a certain standard of my life and morals. Good job, Mike. And I can see that in you. So you look at the movie, the Cowboy Way, and you'll not the Cowboy Way, Tombstone. You'll learn that the cowboys, quote unquote, were a gang of people back in those days, and this is a real thing. They were a gang. They wore a red sash, and in the lost paradigm of the Old West. And remember, he who wins lives to tell the story. So who's right, who's wrong in a good guy or bad guy situation is kind of a variable, right? The cowboys were tagged in that movie as being bad guys. And I don't know, I wasn't there whether they did that or not. It was an awesome movie. The Cowboy Way is a great movie. I love it. We're talking about Tombstone, and the cowboys with the red sashes, they were the ones that caused the problems. They were the ones that killed people, and Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday went out and took care of that. Well, people love Doc Holliday in the Kimple world because of his grit, his demeanor. And I agree. I'm one of the same to say I love that character. And there's one movie in particular where I think it's Val Kilmer plays Doc Holliday, and that's my favorite one. And that's the one he does. And then Kurt Russell, I think, plays Wyatt Earp, and that's my favorite one too. Kurt does a great job. So how do you feel about cowboys? When you see a cowboy or you think about cowboys, what's your paradigm and how's that shift? And then how does that affect you if you have to deal with one? And have they ever affected or given you anything in your personality traits? And I'll tell you this funny, and I'm not doing it now. I'm watching myself pretty close. But when I put on my hat and I go to a rodeo, or I talk to my cousin Jeff in Arizona, all right, and we start talking, we get an accent. We start rolling our R's and talking. Jeffrey talks like an Okie, and that Okie, we start. And I've got to watch it because I'll do it. But, we go to the rodeo and I start talking with an accent. It comes back. It's funny. I guess that's something else I got. All right. I love you. Have a great day. As we move forward today, I wanted to remind you that life is short. Enjoy it. And I don't want it to end for sure. I mean, I had a brush with it and a couple times. And I tell you now, I covet the love that I have in my life. I embrace, and if people say you come back, haunt things if you can't let go, I would not be able to let go, I think, right away of you guys. I love this. I'm addicted to this. I'm addicted to my wife. I'm addicted to her love and her smile and the time that we spend together. I'm addicted to my children and the incredible, wonderful things that they're doing, and I get to watch them grow and change. And so I'll be a ghost haunting you. I'll be coming back because I will not be able to let this go. I know it, and I'm okay with that. Enlightenment, be able to let it go, and then you don't have to come back. No. I'm going to hang out forever. And remember, life is short. So Today, you are the accumulation of what you thought about yesterday and the decisions you made yesterday. Imagine who you can be tomorrow. And in that process, make good decisions today and use today and live today as it is. It's the present. Live it as a present and be in the moment. Enjoy everything. Laugh at the things that you see that normally would irritate you. I watch a lot of people put road rage on here on Facebook. Laugh that off. I know it's hard because people are idiots, but roll off and let's enjoy today. On decision making, we'll talk about that more as we go forward. But remember, the more decisions you make and the quicker you learn to make them, the faster you're going to learn whether you were right or wrong. If you ponder them, you do nothing. You make that decision and you move through it. If it's right for you and it's right for others, it's probably right. Do not make the decision based on what other people think that you should do. Okay, make a decision based on what you want to do for today. Live today as the present. Look forward to tomorrow, but don't stress that it's not going to be there. All right, I get to go teach. I love you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. And if you can, share our Facebook messages. If you like this, please let me know if you like it. I struggle with what to come up with, and I'm just free. I better watch it. I'm just letting it roll now. So let me know what you like. Let me know what you'd like to see more of, and share with other people and have them subscribe too. All right. Monday, August 12th. Have a great day.